Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian and Ariana. It's about to get real, you better believe me. Just got married, trying to make it through life. See, with
faith, honesty, and respect, we'll get through anything.
Stoked to be the Stokes, yeah. Yes, we are. Stoked to be the Stokes, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
Thank you guys for being patient, first of all. Listen, we had to take some time off because we were involved in the Freedom Conference. Ariana was working it. I was working it, singing it.
Yes, you
but
worked
it. Was a great
baby.
turnout. Shout out to our church, All Nations Worship Assembly, San Bernardino.
Such a powerful
And
weekend.
our pastors, Apostle Sherman Dumas and Dr. Jaquette Dumas.
Yes.
They did an awesome job putting this stuff together.
Yes, that was our first time actually attending Freedom Conference. Last year we had pretty much just joined All Nations. And this year we were not only attendees, but also active participants. My first time serving with the deliverance team. And then your first time leading worship at the conference.
At the conference, yes.
And it was just such a powerful time. We posted some highlights and clips, you know.
So please check that out, my page and her page. It's
That's
all
a wrap.
there.
Okay.
What? That's a rap. What?
Because I was like, yeah, we posted some highlights. Also, go ahead and check it out on
She
her
posted.
page and my page.
I'm just saying that, Ariana.
I thought you were telling me to wrap it up.
I wasn't telling you to wrap it up.
Go check it out on our
Let me
page.
tell you something. This whole the pregnancy hormones are real. The pregnancy forgetfulness, the pregnancy mind, it's real. And I don't have a third one, but it's real. And sometimes I just want to take myself outside and just walk in the middle of the street. You know, not that a car is going to come or anything, but, you know, just walk in the middle of the street. Yeah, that a car is going to come and take me away.
Take you away where?
To the hospital so I can have a break. What, does my jacket stink?
It doesn't stink.
You're being a weirdo. You're being such a weirdo. Let me tell you guys something today. We went to the doctor's.
Like
we went to the doctor's office today.
Denim.
And okay, it's denim. It's real.
It's
I know
real
your
strong.
parents never got you real denim when you were youth, and it
You're
was like
not
that
telling
stretch jegging stuff. But this is the
Whatever.
real
They
stuff. This is
even
the
have
real.
that.
This is real, baby. This is real. This is
Okay,
real.
it
Just like my
smells real.
diamonds,
Like how leather
diamonds,
has a strong
real.
smell.
I will go get my diamond
My
bracelet, but
diamonds
you
are
be
real, too.
front. I'm gonna tell a story right
And
now.
I have a story.
No, because she's mad extra because we haven't been on, but it's cool. It's cool. Let me get my
story's not
story.
about you. It's about my
Gosh,
diamonds.
guys, can I please
Go.
tell my story?
Tell your story.
Thank you, baby. We go to the doctor's office today, and this is like so off topic, but I don't care because I want to share. Our insurance switched over because Ariana got some insurance, got her new job that has bomb insurance, better than my job. So we were like, okay, we're gonna go under yours. So I don't know how to tell it. With her job, she works at the hospital, but then the doctor has their private office, right?
Yes.
So we go in there today, and this young lady was at the front desk, and she was giving us attitude because we didn't have this insurance card because the cars ain't come in yet. Right. So I'm trying to talk to the lady, and we already done Yelp the place because, you know, we want to know, you know, how business is going. They said, hey, you know, the girl in front, she got an attitude. So we walk in, and I'm like, yeah, the girl in front has an attitude. Yelp, you hit that nail right on the head. So she going back and forth talking about, we need the insurance card. I need the front and the back to see it before you can get in here. And she's like, okay, why are you looking at me like that? I'm telling the story the right way.
Sorry, I'm still in my feelings because you cut me off when I said I have a story too, and then you were like, "Oh my gosh, can I tell my story?"
I don't have time
I'm
for
like,
games.
what was
I don't
that
have time
for?
for games. I don't have time.
I didn't have the
age
insurance
before
card.
beauty, right? Anyhow, I already saying
I'm
anyhow.
older.
Okay. So I guess I'm more beautiful then. I don't know what you want,
That's
Ariana.
me.
Ariana.
Stop saying my name like I'm wrong. You're wrong. I'm seriously gonna get upset.
Okay. Get upset after
I
the
was
show.
just trying to help with your story.
Okay, so finish the story.
I wasn't gonna finish it. You were asking me what she was saying, and I was saying she said she needed the front and back of the card.
Right. All that good stuff. So then we call.
I'm gonna just be on pause until.
Because I'm trying to get to the end of the story.
You specifically tapped me for help on that
I
part.
didn't tap you.
And I'm
I was
coming with the
tapping
help.
you because you seemed like you had like a little dirty energy on you, and I'm like, I'm all about good vibes, right?
Yeah.
Is that how that's what the kids are saying now?
I'm with no good
Am I having a
vibes.
stroke?
Shut up. Listen, I didn't have the physical card, which she swore she needed.
She swore she needed it, right?
I know you can look it up online. And she was acting like she couldn't even look up the customer service number online.
She said, I don't know the customer service number. We gave her the group number, like just trying to help the girl. Like, hey, we just trying to get in for the baby. And then you're being mean, and you know that the woman is pregnant because all the women are here are pregnant, and you're being mean. Put a smile on your face. So we're going back and forth in the car, calling the insurance company group, whatever, at work. And then she calls the lady at work. Mind you, the doctor is connected to the hospital that Ariana works at.
And he really likes me. He knows me.
When I met the guy, it was like they go back from 1969 when she wasn't even born. Anyhow, so Ariana's on the phone trying to get the paper, and the lady at the front desk just looking at her like she don't give a DAMN. The doctor walks by. He goes, "You? It's you." It's you. I'm not going to do the accent.
Like,
He's African. Why didn't you just say something? Just call me. And he said, just come back here. And she was like, I don't need the insurance card. I said, no, I will do it for free. Come back here now. When I tell you, when I got up and I walked, and I almost looked at the girl from my side eye, but the Lord told me not to, because, vengeance is, his, and says him. But I was just like, girl, you was mean all that time. We told you that she worked at the hospital with him, and you didn't even tell him that it was that girl that was coming here.
She didn't even tell him that. She said it's someone with a Kaiser card. And he was like, well, tell them to go back to Kaiser.
Tell them to go back to Kaiser.
But she didn't say it's someone who is switching from Kaiser, and what she has right now is her Kaiser card.
So when we got back there, I told on her. That's the main part of the story I wanted to tell. I said, tell her to smile more because she mean.
Yeah.
She mean. How you going to work with a whole bunch of women who about to have their first baby or second baby, third baby? This is the happiest place on earth. They just trying to get their stuff done. But you're going to be mean in the front. But I just felt good that, we VIP. He said, if anything go wrong, I'll do this for free. We're having a baby for free anyhow. But I'm just like, just the fact that happened.
Super nice.
That was really good to me. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say everyone other than her was great. Like everyone in the back, other people in the front. They were a little loose, they asked for a sample. I gave my sample. There was no label, no lid, nowhere to put it. Brian didn't want it anywhere near him. So I went ahead and put it where it looked like it belonged. Lady threw out my sample. She's like, "Oh, miss, I'm sorry. I accidentally threw away
she
your
said,
cup."
"You sure you pregnant?"
She said, "Do you know if it was positive?" I said, "Positive for what?" She was like, "Did you take a pregnancy test at home?" I'm like, "Ma'am, yes, I know." I said, "This isn't my first appointment, just my first appointment here." But I'm like, "How you lose somebody?" Well, I'm sure I've thrown out people's samples before, but I was like, this is why you need lids and labels and designated people to receive stuff. Like, even the bathroom, I'm like, I could be putting anything in this sample. You could flush the toilet. You can't do stuff like that. Babe. I didn't know what the test was for.
Well, now you're making it seem like people in there smoking crack rock going in the bathroom.
No, she was just super sweet, but kind of not. I don't know, but she was really nice. But it was a great experience. My first time with the male OB, I was nervous, because I thought I would be a lot more uncomfortable than what I was. Not to mention I work with him, so this is a real intimate
She was nervous.
zone.
She was uncomfortable.
You were uncomfortable?
Just a little bit.
Oh, you looked.
Because I'm like, okay, in the office. He's like, okay. Because they told her. Can I tell what they said to do now or no? Because it's too
from
much.
the waist down.
Okay, he's like, yeah, take it off from the waist down. I said, okay. He's like, oh, just unstrap the ball. I said, okay, cool. I'm like, okay. In my mind, okay, but she's the one who's actually doing it.
Wait, how far are you going with this story?
What he did.
You talking about the women?
Yeah. He went in there. He said, okay, I'm just going to take the breast. He said, I said, whoa, bruh, you getting, they bigger than what they usually are, bro. These are brand new. Okay. Relax and stop touching. Thank you.
But it was not.
I said, wow. In my mind, I was going wild.
You didn't act wild.
Because I had to act normal. I had to act like I had some sense. It's all for the baby. But I said, man, let that be the last time. Let that be the last time.
I don't think he has to do that every time. But, it's a part of the I'm glad that, some people you go to and they're not thorough at all. And it makes you feel like, oh, you just here to be quick, fast, in a hurry. You could easily miss something. So I'm glad that he's thorough. And, I feel like comfortable with him, which is not what I was expecting. And,
he was super nice.
I was trying to be fresh. It had been a day. So I'm like, Lord, don't. But thankfully, he didn't have to do as much as I thought he was going to have to do. We listened to the baby, answered a few questions. We were out of there. So next time it should be a lot easier. But, yeah, customer service at the front goes a long way. Because if I didn't know him, I would have been like, oh, we're not coming back here.
We're not coming here. We don't want to be here.
We're not coming
Check
back
on y'all front desk people, y'all. You can't have anybody up there. You can't have everybody answering the phones. You can't have everybody interacting with people. She should be filing
in the back.
She's not a people person at all. She should be collecting the urine samples in the back, and that should be her only job. And that's real.
Oh my God.
Ariana said I had to stop saying, and that's on God. She said don't start doing so. And that's real. And that's on period. That's on period.
You ready to jump into
I am. Oh, this episode that was just like a rant. Oh, wait, one more thing.
Okay.
And
I have one more thing. Because I had a story about my diamonds.
Go ahead. Tell about your diamonds first, and I'll go.
Y'all, I was at work today. And
I remember this.
One of my coworkers who, we don't talk that much. So when she asks me certain questions, I kind of feel like, oh, we're not really on this level. I don't want to get too chitty chat with you. And she was just like, so, how far along are you? And so then I gave her like an estimate, and then she was like, oh, okay. And then she asked me another question, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, let's move along. And then she was like, so is daddy boyfriend or husband? And I have to get better at taking a moment before I just answer folks' questions to assess whether or not I really need to answer it, or at least to figure out how I'm going to make them realize they should not have asked it, because I feel like that's such an inappropriate question. It's not relevant to anything in her life. Like, and then let's say that Brian was not my husband. How would that make me feel to be like, oh no, yeah, he's my boyfriend, and then no, because I know her, she would have been like, oh, okay, and I know I would have felt some kind of way. Not only that, but the ring stays blinging. I talk with my hand. I sit with my hand. I drink with my hand. So you're asking if my man is my boyfriend or my husband, but you think this is costume jewelry and I'm just wearing it. Like, who even wears jewelry to work? Like, my hand was on that side. I said, oh, he's my husband. Oh, okay. And how does that help you? Y'all, I was offended probably for a good 15 minutes. I text Brian, this heifer just, like, because I'm like, who does that? You don't even know me.
That's why I said next time.
And if you knew me, you would know not to ask stuff like that.
I agree. And next time I said somebody asked something silly like that to you or whatever, because I feel like oftentimes people try black women. It just is what it is, to get that reaction out of them, to say that, oh, she's an angry black woman. Because people don't just go around. I don't think she would ask somebody else.
No, because there's two other girls in the unit who are pregnant, and granted, she's known them longer. But whatever. You don't ask. I don't even ask my patients that. I might ask the father of the baby. Like, I don't ask them. I figure it out, and even so, it has nothing to do with their care. So she can't be anywhere near my labor.
Next time I told Ariana, just ask. Why do you ask?
Yeah, I should. And I wanted to give a curious pause. You know, a curious pause that makes you feel curious as to why you thought to ask that. Just like,
y'all gotta stop these people.
What makes you stop?
You gotta stop these people, and I mean that. I don't know how I mean it, but I mean you gotta stop these people. All women, when you're feeling disrespected, they're in the moment. Here are the facts. This is what's going on, and if it needs to go further than this, we can go to HR.
Yes.
Just stop people. You stop giving people the leeway to feel like they have the room to do that. Because I'm not the one. And then if I go home crying, then I got to call my husband. My husband got to come in here and burn this place down. It just gets out of hand quickly.
I don't have a job or benefits.
Quickly. Or insurance. And now we're having a baby in here. Now, you wanted a home birth, girl, you got it. But there will be no tub. It will be that tub in the bathroom. Praise God. Look at him. Look at him moving.
So between that lady asking me that foolish question, that distasteful question, as Brittany described it, and then homegirl at the front desk just being all kinds of attitude and all, I feel like it ties into our episode today because we're talking about authenticity. That's I don't know what the title of the episode is, but something about being real. Something about keeping it real. We're gonna figure it out.
That sounds so 90s corny, but sure, keeping
says the man in the denim jacket.
Keeping it real. And the buttons. Don't forget the buttons as well.
Your jacket looks good.
And
on
the
you,
man in the
don't
denim
talk about
jacket,
the 90s.
put it down to get you pregnant too. So you got pregnant by a man in a denim jacket.
God, yes,
so watch your mouth and I'll watch mine. Okay, praise God. Hallelujah.
We're talking about authenticity because I had to shake off that lady's comments and me not responding in time. Because, you know, after the fact, you wait too long and now it seems like you're just trying to, like, start something up again.
Because she texted me 30 minutes later talking about, I'm about to walk up to the lady and ask her. And I said, Ariana, let it go. It's too late now. Let it go.
That was wrong and don't do that anymore. And then with the girl at the desk, I felt like, dang, I should have just been like, let me speak to the doctor.
Because the doctor told her to say.
I want to speak to him myself.
Why didn't you just ask for me?
And I don't know why I didn't feel like pulling rank would be appropriate. Anyhow, I feel like it ties into our episode because we're talking about how sometimes being 100% authentic can be a little more difficult than it seems in our minds. Because I come up with really good comebacks and clapbacks and reads and everything like that. I don't always get a chance to exhibit them. So today we have a real quick something to chew on, right? This one is kind of baby related, pregnancy related, because every day I get like a little notice of some of the trending topics on my baby app. And one of them this past week was, what is wrong with family members trying to get me to change my child's name? Right? Nothing more authentic than a name. We all know we put a lot of special effort into selecting names and living up to names. And so I opened this thread because, you know, when people ask us if we've been thinking of names, we always have had like ongoing list, you know, without any specific selections. But I was like, what are people telling this girl about her name? So what she said was, the original poster said that basically she and her husband picked out a name when their family asked. They were telling them, and a lot of people were kind of giving them negative feedback, like, oh, why that? Or, oh, that's so outdated. Or, oh, this will make such a better name. And I was so surprised to see everyone's comments that they could relate, because I'm like, why do people think it's okay to say these things or to give any input on what you are going to name your child?
It makes the middle of my back burn.
If you've already chosen it, like, and then what are you supposed to say back to it when it's people who you normally interact with in a respectful kind of way? Like, because it's not just like, oh, their friend or work or coworker said it. It was like their grandmother, their father, like people having close relationship with them saying like, oh, you should really think about this one. Or, oh, one person said that their mother said 3 months after the baby was born that they just saw a really great name. And like, what are you supposed to do with that? Go down and change it at the Social Security office? That's just dumb. That's just stupid. Is so crazy. But okay. So she said that a lot of people were saying they come up with dummy names, just fake names to throw people off. Either they're really like out there, like Helga. No offense to any Helgas. That's what one person really said on
Helga G. Pataki, shout out. Hey, Arnold.
You know what's funny about that?
What?
The voice of Helga was my roommate in college.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? Helga had the blonde kind of nappy hair, right?
Right.
Yep. That was her. Lauren Robinson. Anyhow. And so, yeah. Fun fact. Jinx. We so corny. Okay. But yeah, and a lot of people were saying that they just decided to keep it a secret, which for us, I mean, we plan on doing a gender reveal. I don't think we plan on doing like a name reveal, but probably because we still have to like, decide on names.
Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. Mm-hmm. Even if I knew for a fact what I wanted to name the child, I would tell no one on my side or your side. Mm-hmm. Everybody has too many opinions that they feel are factual. They said, I was told from my side, they were like, oh, if you have a boy, don't do that junior stuff. And my middle finger almost just went up. Because in my head, I'm like, between me and my child, you have no say. You have no control.
Yeah, and if you want to give your name to your child, that's really special.
It's what I would. If I want to name my child Tyrannosaurus Rex, Lamar Jacob Stokes, you will call him T-Rex Stokes. It will just be what it is. Any questions? No, I didn't think so.
My family hasn't expressed any comments at all about names. I don't think they've even really asked. So I don't know. I don't know that they would give much feedback about it. But I think at the same time, they probably wouldn't ask because just what I know about like my family names, I don't feel like people reveal it super early. We always find out once the child is there.
That's how I feel like it's going to be.
I've never really asked anyone. So I don't think it would be offensive. But I know like you, for example, you don't like feeling like you have to withhold information. So like, let's say we did agree on a name. Would it be hard for you not to tell your people?
No one will know. Okay. When the baby is born, you will know. When we put the gender reveal out, we're going to put out in black and white. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
We're going to post our gender
Good luck. Good luck.
Eventually. And like I had one patient recently, because you guys know I work in labor and delivery. I had one patient recently who said that I was like, oh, have you guys chosen a name? And they said, no, we don't choose a name. We have to call someone back in India, tell them the day and the time the child was born. They call us back with the name of the child. And I was like, oh, like that's really specific, So okay. There's no opinions there because it's based on a whole system. So yeah, we don't really plan on revealing a name when we do decide on a name and once we do know the gender and everything. So yeah.
I think when we have conversations about the baby and conversations about what names we would want the baby to have, I think it's just like a beautiful intimate moment between the two of us. Mm-hmm. And I feel like just like when we took a while to let people know that we were pregnant, even the people who were close to us. Mm-hmm. I think it's a beautiful thing just to have that sacred space and that secret for a minute to hold on to it, because I literally squeezed all the joy out of knowing that you were pregnant before we announced it to the world. Yeah. So anything that people were going to give me back was just going to be like an overflow of what I was already feeling about it. But I couldn't give anybody an opportunity to be able to like pierce it with anything negative. Like I had that wall built up, not even a bad wall, but just a good wall built up, and just holding on to that happiness that like anything anybody could say, it would only make it better. Nothing could take me down.
Yeah. And I thought we had a few reactions that were like less than exciting, which made me a little disappointed. Like, oh, okay, well.
Oh, okay.
That
I
was
do
fun.
remember that
Glad
for
we
you.
told you. Yeah.
Yeah, not for me, but yeah, for you.
At all? Oh, that's good. Praise God.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
Am I forgetting something?
I remember it for me, and I remember thinking like, But at the same time, it was kind of, I mean, you got to, like my dad says, you got to know your people. So I know certain people. I was kind of like, oh, let's see how this goes. And then it was just
Ariana,
how I thought it was going to go.
The people that you thought that were going to be a little, you said it before. And
I know, that's what I just said. I'm like, that's how I thought it was going to go. So, but it was still disappointing.
You were still hoping that it was going to be better. Yeah, some people are really basura. Really?
No. They're not basura. They have their own stuff going on. I've encountered people, and we've probably been the people at some point, where it's just hard for them to emote. I do.
Okay, I agree to disagree.
I agree with myself. Because I feel like, well, I'm not going to get into it, but I just feel like people have their own stuff that they're dealing with. So they're doing their best. Everyone is doing
Anybody
their
tell
best.
me that they're having a baby and that they're excited about it, even if I'm having the worst day ever, I am going to dig up all the joy that I have and celebrate them.
I know, but everybody's not you.
I understand that they should try to be then.
Well,
because I'm just trying to be like Jesus.
Their best. They're literally.
All right, I'm kidding. You guys get what I'm saying, though.
Yes,
I hope.
yes. So that was our something to chew on. But even when you're interacting with a couple or a woman who's pregnant, be sensitive, because every opinion, even if it doesn't get taken into consideration on the road, it counts. So whether it's a comment about the name, or even if it's like, oh, are y'all hoping for a boy or a girl, and they say one sex, and then you're like, oh, but the opposite sex is so much easier, or so much better. Like, no, just whatever they say, just support it. Just support it, because they're telling you their truth. It's a vulnerable moment. It's a vulnerable time.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes people just say some kind of reckless things in passing, and it's like, okay, well, that's not really encouraging, but thank you. I'll take that with a grain of salt or a whole tablespoon. So, yeah.
Or not at all.
So just careful with the opinion. So, yeah, we don't really plan on revealing any name. And then when we do get the gender, we're going to do it with our families. And then eventually we'll share it, online. But I'm super excited because that'll be soon. Mm-hmm. That'll be soon. Okay, so topic today, authenticity.
Remind me to ask you something after this.
Okay.
About how we're going to get the gender in before we go to do the gender reveal.
Okay. I can do that. Okay. So this was actually Brian's episode idea, to talk about authenticity and just kind of being yourself, and how it's not always as easy as it seems, and really how we've had some encounters, because this is not like a teaching thing of here's how you can be your authentic self in the real world today. No, this is
I'm still working on it.
Here's sometimes that we were not our authentic selves, and we kicked ourselves afterwards, and now we're trying to get better at it. Mm-hmm. But one of the first topics we talked about was being yourself everywhere with everyone. And I was telling Brian, I saw this meme earlier. It was like this cat with all these colors and all these awkward positions, like at once, like an arm up, a leg up, a head tilted. And it was like when you're in a room with people from different seasons or stages or parts of your life, and you're trying to be yourself that you've been with each of those people all at once.
That was me at the wedding.
Like, that's what Brian said.
That was me at the wedding. Oh, Lord.
I'm like, this is a true meme, because I feel like growing up, I was perceived as one way in my family. I was perceived as one way at church. Went off to school, had a little more time and space to kind of expand my identity, but it was still my true self, graduated, and, so it was just kind of like, and then when I get around people who were not in those settings with me, and I do something that to me is very much so myself, and they're looking at me like, oh, Ari, I didn't know you.
Right, when she was twerking at the wedding?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know who that was. I'm good.
And I'm just like, and it makes me not feel ashamed, but just kind of like awkward. Because now, like, I'm being myself, and you've called me out, which makes it feel like I'm doing something that's not normal. But it is normal for me. You just haven't been, which makes sense, because I have no reason to do certain things in certain places, like at church or in class or something like that.
Right, right.
I don't think it's being fake, but it's just kind of like, okay, what have your experiences been? Why do you say at the wedding? I feel like you were very much yourself at the wedding. You were happy and free.
Sure, happy and free, but I'm still like everybody from like a different... No, you're right. At the wedding, it was cool. But at the same time, I was just like, let me be chill and holy over here. All right, I'm a little loose over here.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit,
And we had a lot of extended family you had never met before.
Right. And her family is like members. The etiquette committee, 1969.
Yeah, me and my grandma, we joke about that. The pro levels of protocol, me and my mom. But yeah, but I'm trying to think other places you've been Or like, for example, there are times, like when Brian and I first started dating, there are times where I used to be really concerned about how he would handle himself in public with people who we were not in like an intimate circle with, because I'm like, you're a worship leader at our church, and if people see you talking like this or joking like this out here, not that it was anything terrible, you know, he got more sense than a little bit, but like, you could possibly have them thinking like, oh, that's just his stage persona, oh, worship leader, oh, Christian, but like off stage he's just,
it's your mother's stage persona.
Like, huh?
That's what I was saying. That's your mother's stage persona.
But
she
Brian
works the stage every night. If I work the stage, she works the stage.
He would tell me, look, I'm getting comfortable being myself. I don't need you saying like, oh, you should, what did you say, like tone down this part or don't do so much of this one. Like, this is me being free and being me, and it's not hurting anybody. And like, that's true, but I struggled with it because I'm like, one thing I struggle with is other people's opinions, and I'm just like, I just want people to not believe your witness, you know, like oh, and think like, oh, this is just for the stage, just for the church, but the way he walks in real life, and it wasn't even bad stuff, but I would be like overly concerned with it. And maybe you probably weren't.
I maybe sometimes, and sometimes not, because I think trying to keep up with some image that I'm just perfect all the time, that's exhausting. I mean, shoot, they should know I'm not perfect. I never like to eat. Start there. But yeah, I'm just like, I think at that point I was just like, I'm so over this whole facade of trying to be perfect. Like, this person walking down the street, sit down. Let me get a bucket of water and wash your feet. Because I'm just like, Jesus, and I need everybody to see it. Like, but whatever.
Another reason why I love our church, because one thing we always say is we are all
jacked up.
So there's no reason to feel judgment. And someone said sometimes the way you respond to other people really reflects how you feel. And so that probably was true in my case, because, you know, I've already said I can be really judgy sometimes. So I think I just didn't want people judging you the way I would be judging you if I didn't know you.
Right.
Yikes.
Okay.
Ugh, that's not pretty. I just had that realization. Yeah. Okay. So
she's
being yourself,
everywhere
with everyone. Okay. Difficulties being ourselves on the podcast, which has been an ongoing battle. As transparent as we may seem, we've had many arguments after we get off these mics about what was said.
After
how it said.
We had many arguments before, and the episode never even happened. AKA yesterday.
Sometimes during. This is our third take of this episode.
Oh, don't tell that!
The heck?
That's embarrassing.
Why?
I don't know. I'm being authentic. It's embarrassing.
This is the third take of this episode. We didn't even do the episode yesterday because we got in a fight on the way home. I don't even remember about what.
Not at all. She started driving the car crazy too. If y'all want to know about that.
Y'all, can I tell you?
She said, I was going to crash this car. And I said, well, damn, you were going to kill 3 of us?
Language,
wow.
That's one thing. Okay, you real authentic today. No, yesterday he got mad at me, and I was upset with him being mad at me because when he's mad, he likes to shut down the conversation. He was like, "I don't have any more to say. I don't like the conversation being shut down."
Yo, I was so childish though. When I
I'm glad you
because she said something, and I said you should understand when you need to just back up a little bit. And then I was trying to finish my sentence. She said, "Well, I just don't." I said, "I have nothing else to say for the rest of this car ride."
So I got quiet for a little bit. And then about 5 blocks later, I was like...
She hit the gas. She said... I said, are you crazy?
Really these mics. It's
maybe
my
you should
ears.
take a headphone off then. Maybe
okay, I can do that because it's bothering me. But
she's just trying to distract because she was acting crazy yesterday. So she wants to talk about the sound, but I can hear the same sound. It ain't loud. Just talk about yourself now.
A few blocks later, I was like, may I ask a question? And then he gave me permission to ask the question. And then I asked the question, and he was just like... Ariana, I specifically said I don't have any more to say about this conversation, but you opened up the door for me to. He was like, I just feel like you're not even being considerate of the fact that and I'm like, me not being considerate would have been me saying like, okay, I'm just going to say what I want to say, even though he asked me to not talk about it anymore. Me being considerate is me saying, hey, tap tap. Gentle tap. Could I just ask one more question for clarity, for growth purposes?
Her being considerate
for growth purposes
to not talk to me because I said I had nothing else to say for this car ride. So if you could have waited the last 3 minutes of the car ride and not said anything, we got out the car, had a full conversation.
You didn't say
bada bing, bada boom.
Ride.
I said I have nothing else to say through this car ride. That's what I said.
Well, I think because I know when we get home, his line is, okay, I need a minute. So that's another
I never say I need a minute.
Minutes.
I need a moment.
I need a moment.
Thank you.
So that's another 10, 15 minutes of not talking. So I just wanted to get the conversation out while we were there because I felt like you were not right in your anger. So anyways, he wouldn't allow it, and I got really angry. And the way that it came out was through my foot to the gas pedal. And I just started, and I had to be like, ooh, girl, get it together. Like, do not sin in your anger. I had to start quoting scripture and praying because I was getting so angry and I just wanted to be reckless. And I was like, it's nighttime. It could be pedestrians. Like, just chill. Just chill. And then I think you made a joke and then I laughed and then I wasn't mad anymore.
Yeah, that's how she does. That's how I do.
I can never win.
That's right. You always win. When I win, you win. Because we are
win.
one.
Hashtag we win.
So if you lose, I win, and we both win.
But
and if I win, you lose, we both win.
Yes. Right. Carry the 6. And so with the podcast, that's what you said last night. With the podcast, sometimes we struggle with being authentic. And we kind of came to this conclusion 2 weeks ago. Is because we don't always agree on how to accept one another's authenticity. Like, we don't have to be on the same page with being authentic. To a certain extent, yes. But, like, for example, there are certain things that Brian would say or share on the podcast that's his truth, his freedom, his opinion, his way of joking. That's really just not my style. And sometimes it is. And people don't know it, so they think, like, oh, she must be. No, sometimes his style really is my style. Grow with me, okay? And I think that when I kind of step back a little and I'm like, okay, that's your truth. I'm not going to judge you, but don't judge me when I start acting uptight or like a prude because I don't want to discuss something or share something, whatever. Just accept that that's my truth. And I'm going to keep a kosher over on this side and don't push me to go any further. And I won't push you back to keep you from going as far as you want to go within limits. Then I feel like we had a little bit of breakthrough after that.
Okay.
When we came to that realization.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Cool.
Yeah, so I think that's one part that we're learning with the podcast, but also just applying to life is like, hey, if we're out in public even, you be your best self, I'll be my best self. You know, we have little signals for when something might be going a little bit too far, and that's for one another's protection. But if it's just because it makes me uncomfortable, but it's nothing wrong, then let him be free because he ain't always been free. Let me be free because I ain't always been free. So enjoy, live your best life. We 30. This is 30.
Don't tell my age. Just like please. You don't want people to know how many weeks you really are. Right. Don't tell my age.
Right.
I'll start this episode all over again.
You said you're 30, and according to you, I'm 40.
You closer to 40 than I am.
Right. Okay, but also, and this is the part I love, somehow, y'all, and some people say it's that protective thing that comes in when you come into parenthood. This pregnancy has made us both a lot more willing to be our authentic selves when it comes with interacting with other people, I feel.
Give me an example.
I just know that anytime I bring a situation to you, like, well, what if they say, my wife is pregnant. You're pregnant. If that's what she wants, then give her what she wants. She's pregnant. Like, it's like he has no...
Period.
There's no discussion. And I don't even know what the consequence is. I just know there will be one. Like, he's going to handle it. He's always been like that. But I feel like even about little things that he's like, oh, we'll be okay. I'll get it for you. It's like, no, they're going to get it for you because you're pregnant and I said so.
It only makes sense. It only makes sense.
Okay, Daddy.
It only makes sense.
Me, on the other hand, I feel like I'm just more likely, aside from today, to speak up. Mm-hmm. Like to say, like y'all saw my story about the Chick-fil-A, the girl at Chick-fil-A. We tried to get our free food, and she tried to say it was 7 o'clock, and we've been waiting since 6:56 or whatever. No, ma'am. Turn back the time. Go get your manager. Do what you're gonna do. Like, we can all
ask God to make
here.
the sun stand still,
right?
Because
like,
I'm gonna get this food.
Figure it out, okay? And I just feel like there's a lot of things that I'm more willing to stand up for myself for, and I don't think I directly associate it with, oh, because I'm one day going to have to do this for my child, or I want to set a good example for my child. But it just feels like, no, I'm not dealing with this today, actually. Mm-hmm. We're going to need to resolve it on my terms. Like, that's just the attitude. And even, like, when it comes to, like, being...
We were at our favorite restaurant.
Fridays? You talking about Fridays?
No, Friday's not our favorite. Well, we were at Ari's favorite restaurant, Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yes.
His stuff wasn't going right, and we left.
It's no longer my favorite, but okay, yeah.
They sent us free meals, free drinks, free desserts after that strongly worded letter she wrote. Shout out to Miriam Smith for teaching her.
Yes. You were more upset than I was. Yeah, Brian was so upset. We were trying to go eat before church, and Cracker Barrel just had the longest line, and we had the longest wait. Drinks didn't come till late. Food never came. Manager didn't even care. We walked out of there. Brian told me, I need you to write a letter to corporate now. Okay. And he walking, and so I'm trying to lighten the mood, and I said, oh, you big mad, huh? Y'all, I guess I wasn't supposed to say nothing. He turned around, he said, you think that's funny? You think now's the time to joke? Calling me big mad? I'm like, sir. You big mad? When I get mad, he jokes and says,
no, I don't.
You mad, huh?
Oh, okay, yeah, but she said big man. I'm like, you don't even talk like that. Who do you think you're talking to?
Big man.
That's what I was thinking.
He was not feeling it. And I was like, okay, let me just hush and write this letter to corporate. They sent us a golden ticket, y'all. We get 2 free drinks, 2 free entrees, and 2 free desserts at our next visit to Cracker Barrel. And then we'll.
But they put it for 30 days out. It's not good until 30 days.
It's not good until the end of August and only until the end of September.
Stupid.
Restrictions. I'm gonna go use it soon.
Whatever. We're gonna go when she has a bigger belly. Then they can't say no.
I think we can go right
What's
now.
What's next on this list, girl?
Fun. That was really, unless you had another. I feel like you making me give all the examples.
No, I thought my Cracker Barrel example was good. I think overall I wanted to talk about this because I think that since I was a child, I feel like I've always been like boxed in to have to be a certain way or pointed out for being a certain way, and I should change to be something else. So I think that as I'm going into my 30s, as I continue to find more freedom with, connecting more with Christ and just being more connected with my church family and holding more responsibility in the church, it has opened up my mind to be like, I am free to speak what's on my mind. I'm free to be upset. I'm free to be happy. I'm free to have this joy continuously, even if the people around me don't have it. I'm free to enjoy my job, even if people don't enjoy their jobs. I'm free to enjoy my wife being pregnant, even though people think, oh, you have kids, it's all over. I'm free to do that. And I'm starting to learn how to continue to be happy, continue to be joyful, even in the midst of everybody and their negativity. Because I feel like a lot of people have this negative thing about them that they feel that they need to drag you down to be where they're at so they can, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm starting to learn that, no, I'm going to pull you up or you're going to be left behind, just in that. And I think
right or get left.
Right, but there was no bottom line to this episode. But I feel like everybody just needs to be free to express yourself, not being rude, not being disrespectful, but just knowing who you are, feeling who you are, and what you want to do and what you want to be, getting to choose your friends, getting to choose what family you want to stay connected with, just all of that, just being authentic to yourself so that you can have a healthy mind, being authentic to yourself so that you can have like a healthy life.
And setting boundaries. And I think the biggest takeaway from what you said was that even if the people in the environment around you are not on whatever level you're on, like, it's okay. You don't have to sink. Shoot, you don't even have to rise. If you need to take a minute and be everybody's up and you're like, let me just be here for a minute. This is where I need to be, and I don't want people to think that we're making this up, because there have been times, y'all know, like, joy has been your word lately, praise God. But like people know I'm a very joyful person, right? And I've been in situations where I'll come in all perky and I can tell that it is irritating people. Not because I'm talking too much, not because it's too early in the morning, but just because it's like, why are you so happy? Why, like, what is it? Why are you so happy? And I've heard people, I was at the airport and there were these 2 ladies behind me, and they were going on and on and on about a coworker of theirs who is always so happy and how it just bugs them so much. And there's no way that she can really be that happy. And she really should consider toning it down because it's just annoying and no one wants to be around that. And I'm looking like, shoot, she sounds like me. Do people talk like this for real? Like, I did not know that people, like, the level of animosity was high. Like, they were irritated. Like, why is she so extra, and how does she not understand that it makes everyone around her feel totally annoyed? And there was maybe one person who was like, well, it doesn't bother me that much. I just put my headphones on. And no, like, I make it a point to make sure that I ask her, like, could you please keep it down? I'm just like, wow, you are really bitter? Like, what has happened in your life that you can't even be around somebody else's joy? So it really is difficult sometimes to not feel like, oh, maybe I'm doing too much, or maybe I do need to just kind of, like when you're a teenager and you're happy for something, but it's like the cool thing to really not be involved, so you just kind of slink back like, yeah, it's all right. When you're really excited to go to your little cousin's party at Chuck E. Cheese because they got bomb pizza. Okay, and you still like the games even though you're 14.
I still like the games even though you're 30. It is what it is.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people, you get caught in that cycle, and the next thing you know, you're just walking around like everyone else, just trying to be as chill as possible when God has called you to be joyful. Are you kidding me?
God has called you to be joyful. And that's real.
Yes. Rejoice in the Lord
and
always.
And that's on
and
God.
Again, I say what? Rejoice.
Huh? All right. All right, I want to end the show a little differently tonight. I want to do high. So you do a high, I do a high.
We're not doing preg updates?
We did that already. There's an update? No, just a high.
High. Okay.
We updated. So you got a high? Because I got a high if you're not ready.
First.
My high. All right. So if you follow me on Instagram, you notice like in my stories that I posted something that was very transparent. And I think it's absolutely great to be free. So I've struggled with depression for the last 3 years, like heavily. Mm-hmm. And then 1 year I was like clinically depressed with anxiety and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So there was this program that they had at Kaiser that I went through. Mm-hmm. Took about 6 months. I was on, 2 medications for it. I was going to therapy with a psychiatrist and therapy with...
Therapist?
No, because he was a psychiatrist and then...
Well, he was a therapist. She was a psychiatric nurse.
Psychiatric nurse, whatever. Yeah. Well, my high is that I graduated. And they really do call it like just graduated with it because it's not only about the therapy, but it's about life skills and coaching and just like going through like different like steps. And I literally thought that I was going to be on meds for the rest of my life. I thought it was just like the end all be all. This is what makes me happy. This is what makes it like. This is what makes me stable and like feel good or feel normal. But then once everything started like changing in life and I started just like, I don't know if it's using the tools or just like the joy of the Lord came over me or whatever, I got to get off both medications. I only have to, if I want to continue with a therapist, I will. But I graduated from the nurse practitioner, yada, 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 life coach thing, whatever, that program. And it just feels good to feel like myself again.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't, right.
But you haven't seen in 3 years.
Right. So I don't feel like because sometimes the meds can make you feel like you're going down a little bit, but not that you're sad, but you're just like at a level. So now that it's just been like different, it's been like a different like type of joy like in my chest. So even like at work, they're like, this guy is like wild. And we literally have a good, like Ariana called me today at work and it was like we were having like a party in there because it's just like, we just like enjoy, like God put me in that environment just to be like joyful.
That's a good environment.
And even like with the clients that I work with and the homes that I work with, it's just like a different joy that I get to bring in. So it just feels so good. Like even right now, just to feel like myself, like as if God just gave me fresh wind and fresh waves that just clean me over and just to feel like myself again. Yeah. It feels amazing. Yeah. And we're going to talk about it on an episode like deeper.
It needs a full episode.
But it just feels good to actually like go through it, not only as a man, but an African-American male. Because usually we just don't. And shout out to you because I would have never went or did none of this if I was alone. I don't think I would. I would just keep living life. I would have kept sweeping it under the rug and just keeping it moving.
Yeah.
Because it was an uproar when I was going to therapy and I meds with, my family. Just a little uproar because it's like, oh, they want to make you go.
Which a lot of people have that reaction.
But it's not true.
Medication, like
it's not true. It's not true at all. And depression is not forever. Anxiety is not forever. Being on the meds, it's just not forever. But we'll talk about that in another episode. But I just want to say it out loud because I'm going to keep being free. And I do not care what people say. I don't care. I
believe you.
I don't care. But what's your high?
Well, that was a really high. You got another high? Has high?
No, high as in I do a high, you do a high.
Oh, okay. Well, my high's gonna sound just pitiful.
Be high.
You're right. My high, I would say, was. Well, honestly, I believe it was. I'm so happy. Oh, I love you so much. My high was the Freedom Conference, I will say.
No, that was a good one.
Even though it was very intense, like it was a very intense weekend. Those of us who are serving, the preparation, but also like for me, like I said, it was my first time serving on the healing and deliverance team, and we've both always served at church in the past. I've done like intercession team, but this was different because I genuinely have an interest in learning more about just deliverance ministry. And I don't think that it's just ironic that I work in labor and delivery. And so a lot of times I draw a lot of parallels from like the medical field to, like things that take place spiritually with folks. And so I'm really grateful to be in a church where they are helping to equip us and really just kind of hone those gifts. But with being the Freedom Conference as opposed to like just a regular church service or something like that, I was a little bit, not nervous, but just kind of, I guess, anticipatory of like, okay, like I'm excited, but what am I excited for? What am I gonna, I don't know if I used that
okay.
exactly right, but you get the gist. I was anticipating, what it was going to be like if I was really prepared, do I got enough scripture? Do I have, it's kind of like, is my bag packed? Do I have everything I need in my bag? Is pretty much what it felt like. But when the time came to actually, be activated and to operate, it was really just like, okay, I have to empty myself of me and put myself aside, like I tell you with worship, and just trust that God was going to do what he wanted to do and what others were going to permit him to do through me, just being the vessel. And on the other side of that, I was going to get to see God work through me, and my faith would be increased. So the next time I have to go or get to go and like, be a part of someone's deliverance or healing or whatnot, it can be from a greater place of faith. Like, yeah, God's going to do this because I saw him do it before when I didn't even know what I was doing, And so I feel like for me, it was really exciting because once we started, I didn't really feel nervous. I didn't feel like I had to perform or look or act a certain way, or I didn't feel the pressure to, I didn't feel the pressure to like,
it's the baby.
Yeah, it's the baby. I didn't feel the pressure to like look around and see what others were doing and try to look like that, because one thing that had been prophesied to me was that I have a deliverance ministry, but it's based in love, and I know that when I come into contact with people, there is healing that is released. There is like a level of peace that's released. And a lot of times it's through very gentle gestures, or through really like loving words or acts of encouragement. It's not always like, sometimes it is a very shaking conviction, because certain things really frustrate me. In a righteous way, not like, but so I feel like in that moment, I feel like I could be myself and it was effective. And so it's good to know that God will use me as I am and that he's continuing to grow me. So that was a high because I feel like I even went into work this week with a little bit of pep in my step. Like, like more authority. And praise God for my husband, Brian, because he allowed me, even though he did so much more work, he allowed me to take Monday off. Because me and this baby needed to rest.
When you making a little money now.
And I didn't feel bad about
take it down. Just one, though. That was the math. Just one.
I didn't feel bad about it. Because I'm like, oh, but he really... I was like, girl, if you don't go sit down with this baby. So I went and I sat down. And I felt so productive. I got some things taken care of around the house. And it just felt like a good way to ease into my week. Truth be told, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I said, Lord, if this is what you have for me, I'll be home taking care of the home.
All right, Lord, if I can make a third
Put
more
us
money.
on one accord.
Do
it, Jesus.
Gonna do.
But I also love my job, too. So, there's that. But, yeah. So, yeah, that was my high.
Love you.
I love you, too.
All right, guys. So if you're not following us on social media, what are you doing with your life?
Why not?
At Stoked to be the Stokes. Like I always say, exactly how it sounds.
Yes.
At Stoked to be the Stokes. If you want to follow my lovely wife, it's at Ariana Nicole Stokes. And if you want to follow me, it's at Brian Lamar Stokes.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
And remember, with love,
faith,
honesty,
and respect,
we'll get through anything. See you next Tuesday, guys.
Bye,
or
y'all.
Wednesday, depending on how she feels with the baby and whatnot. Because I be on time. I just be waiting for her to come and get around. All right, we love you guys. See you next week.
Bye.